Hey gang, Mark Zona, and let's talk about fall for the simple reason it's almost fall where probably you're sitting right now. It's definitely fall out there because there's leaves everywhere in my driveway outside of the bass cave. And a lot of folks ask, where do you start and what do you do in the fall? And I keep it very, very simple. A lot of times in the fall, I fish the exact same places that I caught them in the spring. And here's the best way to describe that is areas outside of where they spawn in the spring. What's interesting, they use those same areas in the fall. Kind of like a deer uses a cornfield. He constantly goes back to those areas. They almost do the same thing in the fall. But the one thing that I do in the fall, different from the spring, a lot of times in the spring, it doesn't matter if you're down south, out west, up north, they focus their life in the spring on killing bluegills. They focus on bluegills right before they go on the beds and when they come off, and they just want to kill baby bluegills. In the fall is when I'll transition and go to more shad style baits, more perch style baits. It seems like the only thing that really changes in my eyes in the fall is their forage. If you look at some of this footage right here, the main thing to me is to find out what part of the water column they are in. I have a Strike King KVD jerkbait here, and here's the best way to put it whenever I'm jerkbaiting, and I do a ton of that in the fall, is 10 feet and shallower, I'll go to a 12-pound InvisX fluorocarbon. It'll keep that bait above the grass. As it gets colder and they start to fade out to the last live grass, I want that jerkbait to get a little bit deeper. All I'm gonna do is switch up to a 10-pound InvisX fluorocarbon. And what that's gonna let me do, it's gonna enable me to get that jerkbait just a little bit deeper in that water column, maybe only a foot, maybe only 18 inches, but that can make a huge difference at the end of the day. So this fall, go back to those areas that you fish in the spring. Just find out what water column they're in and the forage that they're after.